Officer Dade, you want to open the courtroom for us?
The state of Michigan 36th District Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge David S. Robinson Jr. presiding. Court is now in session. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Let's get started. We are on the record calling file number 05-101895, Modern Financial Services versus Tiffany Harris. Date and time for objection and garnishment. Your appearances.
Naljat Francis on behalf of Plaintiff's Attorney of Record P72322, Your Honor. Good morning.
Morning. What is your name, ma'am? Ma'am, what is your name?
My name is Tiffany Harris, Judge.
Ms. Harris, you are the moving party. What is the basis of your objection and garnishment?
My basis is that regarding the amount that they are trying to garnish, I am not in agreement with. They have taken my taxes over the years. I had several payment arrangements. My original finance with the car was $8,000. I was consistent a couple of years for that finance. The rest of it, I was not, and I am aware of that. So I was in payment arrangements, agreements, and they've been taking my taxes for several years. So at this time, they're asking for $9,000, over $9,000, which is over the finance amount. And I totally don't agree because I paid more than enough. And
What is more than enough, ma'am?
what I'm stating is that regarding them taking my taxes over the years.
Yes, ma'am. How much have you paid?
They've been taking my taxes over the years, and they at least took out over $4,000.
Okay. You have any other basis for your objection to garnishment that you haven't told the court?
Just that, Judge, again, like I say, I am aware and responsible for my debt, but I'm not in agreement of the amount because, like I said, I know I've come to almost paying this debt off. It's been over 20 years. I'm 40 years old. I got this debt in my early 20s, and I'm well enough paid this off, and it's never ending. And like I said, I'm just asking for grace because at this time I don't have any documents to prove because it's so old, but they had my old address and I wasn't even served, over the years for what the amount was, what was due. I just been, again, comfortable with them taking my taxes because I wanted it to be done, but now I'm trying to take care of this debt.
All right. Let me hear from Ms. Francis.
Your Honor, I don't believe the defendant is taking in into her calculations interest that has accrued. This judgment is from 2005. So almost 20 years of interest as well. As she stated, plaintiff has only gotten tax refunds over the last few years. That does not account for paying off this judgment, Your Honor. So defendant has not stated a valid objection to the garnishment. We'd ask for her objections to be denied.
All right, the court's prepared to rule in this matter. Ms. Harris, you were personally served with summons and complaint back on January 29th, 2005. When you failed to file an answer to the complaint, a default judgment was issued against you on February 25th, 2005 in the amount of $8,410.78. That judgment was renewed again on February 20th, 2025. Like a credit card, an unpaid judgment accrues interest. The judgment initially was for over $8,000, and you say you've paid $4,000. So obviously the judgment has not been satisfied. Having failed to state a valid objection to garnishment, your objection to garnishment must be denied. Ma'am, you have an absolute right to appeal my decision. That appeal must be perfected within 21 days of today in the Wayne County Circuit Court. I will send out an order to you both. Thank you both for coming in. We are off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I also have 313.
Oh, okay. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning. We are on the record calling file number 22201-313, Modern Financial Services versus Winter Simpson. Date and time for objection and garnishment. Your appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Navjot Francis on behalf of Plaintiff's Attorney of Record P72322.
And your name, ma'am?
Winter Simpson.
Ms. Simpson, you are the moving party. What is the basis of your objection to garnishment?
Okay, my objection is the documents that you guys were sending or that Modern Finance was sending was no address, so I wasn't able to get any of the court paperwork. I didn't get anything until I received something from HR for garnishment at my new job. So I put in not a claim, I'm sorry. I put in for to see if I can do a payment plan or to stop the payments because right now I'm not financially stable to pay these payments at 270.
Let me hear from Ms. Francis.
Your Honor, defendant has not stated any valid objections to the garnishment, so we would ask for her objections to be denied, as well as her, I believe she filed a motion for installment payments as well, asking for $50 per month. That is not reasonable based on the total of the judgment at this time, Your Honor.
What's the current amount of the judgment due at this point?
The judgment balance right now is $9,106.36, Your Honor.
What is the interest rate?
I believe it's 13%, Your Honor.
13%, yes, what I thought. Okay, let me deal with both of these matters while I have everybody here. Let's start with the objection to garnishment. Ms. Simpson, in regard to your objection to garnishment, let me go over a couple of facts with you in resolving the case. You were personally served with summons and complaint on January 15th, 2023. And when you failed to file an answer, a default was entered. Ultimately, a default judgment entered against you in the amount of $8,897.21. Now, when you have a judgment that has been entered against you, one of the means that the judgment creditor, here the plaintiff, has to enforce that is garnishment. The way the rules of garnishment are set up, the plaintiff goes to files a writ of garnishment, not against you, not to you. They serve a bank, they serve an employer, they serve a credit union, or somewhere that they believe has money that belongs to you. That individual, that organization is called the garnishee defendant. It is the obligation of the garnishee defendant to do several things. First, they must file a disclosure where they say to the plaintiff, yes, I have money that belongs to Ms. Simpson, or no, I do not. If they have money that belongs to Ms. Simpson that is not exempt for some other reason, then some portion of that money has to be transferred to the plaintiff. Or they say, no, I don't have any money that belongs to Ms. Simpson. In either event, it is the obligation of the garnishee defendant, not the obligation of the plaintiff, to advise you that you have been garnished. So if you have any problems with being notified that you were being garnished, that's a problem between you and your HR department. That is not the obligation of the plaintiff. In order to validly set forth an objection to garnishment, you must show some defect in the garnishment proceeding itself, or some reason the garnishment proceeding is invalid. Financial hardship is something we recognize as human beings, but it's not a valid objection to garnishment. Having failed to state a valid objection to garnishment, your objection to garnishment will be denied. You have an absolute right to appeal my decision. That appeal may be perfected within 21 days of today in the Wayne County Circuit Court. Turning now to your request for installment payments. The judgment that was entered against you on May 12th of 2023, without regard to interest. And of course, the judgment is like a credit card. Interest accrues on it unless and until it is paid off. Was in the amount of $8,897. At 13%, that means you're paying $88 a month. Again, without taking into account the interest that has accrued and interest alone. Your request is for $50 a month. 10,000 years from now, if I granted this request, you would still not be out of debt. What you're asking me to do, you asked me to set up a payment plan that's less than the amount of the interest. You're asking me to sign you up for indentured servitude, and I will not do that. The court is going to deny your request for installment payments of $50 a month. Again, you have an absolute right to appeal my decision. That appeal must be perfected within 21 days today in the Wayne County Circuit Court. Court will send out to you both today 2 separate orders. There'll be an order denying the objection to garnishment. There'll be an order denying the request for installment payments. Thank you both for coming in. The
address that you guys had for me was not my address anymore. I corrected my address when I came in on, when I did this motion.
And
That's what
that's an address on Nisman?
Yes, that's the new address.
Yeah, that's what shows on the record now. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just changed that when I filed this motion. If you look
Okay.
previous,
That's where your notice of today's orders from today will be sent.
no, I'm saying previous, like you guys sent me court dates to attend and I wasn't able to attend those court dates.
Nobody
Because-
sent you previous court dates, ma'am. You were defaulted in May of 23 after being personally served with summons and complaint.
That's what
Excuse me,
have-
when you didn't file an answer, you were defaulted.
I didn't personally get served. That's what I'm saying to you. May 2023, I
No,
was not.
May of
Address.
2023, ma'am, was when you were defaulted. You weren't listening. You were personally served back in January of 2000. I'm sorry, on January 15th of 2023 at your prior address. You have an absolute right to appeal my decision, ma'am. I've made my decision. We'll send out.
That wasn't my address. You're saying something that's not true.
Ma'am, thank you for coming in. You have an absolute right to appeal my
You
decision.
have a great day.
Michigan Court Rule 3.101K specifically provides that you may not use the objection to garnishment to challenge the validity of the judgment previously entered. Have a
That's
nice
fine.
day.
You guys too. Bye. God got me.
That's it, Ms. Francis.
Thank you, Judge.
You're off the record. All right.
Have a great day.
You too.
The music by Theodore Tchaikovsky, or Waltz by Eugene Onegin, with Leonard Bernstein in New York Philharmonic. You're listening to Tempo, and this is CBC Music. She spoke her mind, wore whatever she wanted, loved whomever she wanted, and forged a mighty successful career in music. How successful? Well, it's not everybody who gets to perform for the King of England, but Ethel Smythe did. In the 1930s, a special concert of Ethel Smythe's music was played at Royal Albert Hall in London, and the Queen attended and led the applause. But at that point in her life, Ethel Smythe was so deaf, she couldn't hear her own pieces during the performance, and nor could she hear the royal ovation. Music by Ethel Smythe, we just heard the fifth movement of her string quintet with the Mandarin String Quartet in the spotlight. We're listening to Tempo on CBC Music, and I'm Julie Misrau. The thing is, once you put it out there, it is out there to use dictates to whether you're talking politics or role playing notes. Now you're about to hear music that Claude Debussy is cello similar to, which was performed by several cellists when it first came out, including one guy who decided to print a poetic description of the music in the program. So folks looking out what to expect of this new piece. He set up Debussy's cello sonata like this. Piero, or Harlequin, wakes up with a start and shakes off his stupor. He rushes off to sing a serenade to his beloved, the moon, who, despite his supplications, remains unmoved. Well, when Debussy found out about those program notes, he complained bitterly to his publisher that the cellist had used his confidence, and it was no wonder his foreign music was so frequently misunderstood. For his part, the poor cellist defended himself by claiming that Debussy was the one who put that poetic description out there. So how was he to know he was going to break down about it? Music by the great pair, Gail Lee Feliciano. We just heard his concerto grosso #2 with the Tapu Musical Orchestra and G. Lombardi. You're listening to Tempo, and this is CBC Music. You've got to have confidence in your sound, man. One of the toughest things to do as a musician is not listen to yourself while you're playing or singing, because if you're listening to yourself, you can't be free, and you can't be free unless you're confident about your sound. Having confidence in your sound is one of your prime objectives as a musician at any stage in your career. Well, when one conductor was asked what he thought was profound about the music of William Grant Still, he said, William Grant Still knew how to write in other styles, but the blues brought him back to his roots. And if the blues felt too secular or too raw, William Grant Still himself would say, so what? It is what it is. In other words, that's my sound. So there's the sound of William Grant Still's Symphony Number 5 with the Fort Smith Symphony led by John Cheddar will take up the rest of your hour. Sensational music by the Dean of African American composers. You just heard music by William Vance Still, his complete Symphony Number 5, with Jonas Chatter, leading the parts in the symphony. These are the kinds of performances you want lighting up your life on a daily basis. Then you're invited to visit cbc.ca/listen, where you will find community work.
Mr. Purpose, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
What do you got with me today?
I have two creditors exams, one for St. John's and one for Macomb County.
Okay. I had another case with Renner, Auto Club versus Tia Gout. Do you have that one?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Now, I don't have your opponent as of yet. Put you back in the waiting room.
Thank you, Judge.
Hello?
Hi,
What is your name?
Jessica Ward.
Jessica Ward. Okay. You are here for a pretrial on a small claims matter.
Yes, sir.
Small claims appeal. Small
Yes.
claims matters are not done on the record. So I have to put you back in the waiting room, and when we get organized, when I get the other side, I have to go turn off the recording device and come back. So it's gonna be a few minutes.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
The same minister is expected to end another war today with the policing and the city of Surrey. That issue is one of the largest RCMP detachment in Canada will become its municipal police force. The province wants Surrey to create its own force, and the city has been in the process of doing that. As late last year, a new mayor was elected with a campaign on a promise to stop that transition and go back to the RCMP. Former U.S. President Donald Trump says he's been told he's the target of a grand jury investigation in connection with his role in the January 6th riot. Trump says he expects to be arrested and indicted. the Fox News town hall last night, he claimed it was politically motivated.
Election interference never been done like this in the history of our country, and it's a disgrace.
Trump has already been criminally charged in 2 other cases. Meanwhile, 16 members of the Michigan Republican Party are facing felony charges, accused of submitting a phony set of electors to help Donald Trump overturn his loss in the 2020 U.S. election.
This is over election activities to falsely claim that Donald Trump won in every state after a presidential election. Electors helped certify the results. In Michigan, 16 Republicans are accused of being fake electors. So during the 2020 election, you have a number of states where Trump supporters signed certificates falsely claiming that Trump won when it was actually Biden. Now, none of that was accepted, but this all led to a number of investigations. And now you have Michigan laying 8 charges each against the accused, including conspiracy to commit election law forgery. And if found guilty, they could be looking at years in prison. Magda Gavras, Alessa, CBC News, Washington.
In Ukraine, the country's agriculture minister says an overnight attack has caused a considerable amount of damage to grain and port infrastructure in the city of Odessa. Ukrainian officials say more than 60 drones and missiles were launched overnight. This is the second night in a row Russia has targeted Odessa. It started shortly after Russia pulled out of the Black Sea grain deal and after Ukrainian forces destroyed the key bridge linking Russia to Crimea. And that is your rule this hour. I'm Mike Wise.
Polaris Music Provinces, 10 outstanding comedians, 10 amazing albums. Every Sunday, leading up to the gala, playing CBC music, celebrating one artist on the short list and then nominated this evening. It's gonna be lots of Sunday night at 6:30 with Ryan on CBC Music and on the CBC. The music continues. Good morning and welcome to Temple. I'm Julie. If you haven't already heard the sound movies, Mystic Andre Wallace, one of the greatest humanists of his generation, astounding. So coming up in less than 5 minutes, a tribute to this legendary artist through the performance of Sergei Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 3. First, here's a little bit of music from Franz Schubert Trap Quintet.
Hello,
Hello,
what is your name?
Laquita.
Tell me your name again, please. Tell me your name again.
Hello. I can't hear you. Hold on.
Hello. All right.
Hi,
You're
Laquita Gill.
You're Laquita Gill? Okay. Ms. Gill, I have a few more minutes before I get to you, but I know that you're here, so just hang on.
Hold on, Judge. What you say?
I have a few more minutes before I get to you. I have other things I have to take before you. I'll get to you very shortly. Back in wait.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to let you know I was at work, so I'm gonna mute it.
Okay, I'll put you back in the waiting room.
With the music and comments that we have in the second reading from the ceremony with Cynthia discussion of the antenna. And before that, the first movement from Schubert's Quintet, the chamber players of Canada, and the team is the keyboard. Once you're in this one, you're listening to tempo, and this is CBC music. The New York Times called him one of the first rock superstars in classical music. Before the audiences with his charisma and his technical powers. Legendary melodies.
We are on the record calling file number 05106-760, Fan Distributing Company versus William Sistrom. This matter set for debtor's examination today at 11 o'clock. Court has received a communication from counsel, the plaintiff indicating that counsel was unable to serve the defendant for today's debtor's examination. The subpoena issued on May 5th, 2023 for today's debtor's examination for the defendant is hereby quashed. We are on the record calling file number 21167-723, Auto Club Group versus Kami Reedus, Tia Gout. This matter is scheduled for creditor's examination today at 11 o'clock. The plaintiff sent a letter indicating that he was unable to serve Tia Gout. The subpoena issued in this matter for the defendant for today's creditor's examination is hereby quashed. We are on the record calling file number 21-171198, Macomb Community College versus Malik Dawson. The court issued a subpoena on April 13th, 2013 for the defendant. There to be a debtor's examination today at 11 o'clock. It's now 11:30. Could I have your appearance?
Good morning, Matthew Kuipers on behalf of the plaintiff, P71348.
Were you able to serve the subpoena on the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor, it was served personally on May 20th.
May 20th. Defendant has failed to appear. No good cause that failure has been shown. Counsel, you may file your motion for order to show cause.
Your Honor, I don't believe that we will be filing a motion for show cause, but if we decide to, we will.
All right. Then the next case I'm going to call is 22-194317, St. John Anesthesiologist versus Roderick Waller. The court issued a subpoena for Mr. Waller dated April 28th, 2023 for a debtor's examination today, July 19th at 11 o'clock. It's now 11:30. Mr. Waller has failed to appear. Could I have your appearance?
Good morning, Your Honor, Matthew Kuipers on behalf of the plaintiff, P71348.
Mr. Kuipers, were you able to serve Mr. Waller with subpoena?
We were, Your Honor, on May 20th.
And he has failed to appear. You may file your motion for order to show cause.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too, sir.